It is a special Thursday edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Funny. Oh, wait a minute.
I
knew it.
I got you yesterday, and then I messed up. I got you. I got him yesterday for
knew it was coming.
Remy, and then I messed it up.
I knew it was coming.
All right, so here we go. Rewind. It's a Thursday night edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Stanton, baby.
And
Funny.
when it's about sports,
It becomes our business, right?
Yeah, it does. And you know when that happens, business just picked up. Ain't that right, Smooth?
yeah. That's good, man. It's good to see everybody is here on the show, or shall I say via Zoom on the show. What's going on?
We here.
Hey, live and in living color. Let's do this.
I see.
Reporting live from from Myrtle Beach.
There it is.
On location.
Right.
for no sporting event whatsoever, because you know that's not a thing anymore.
Now I believe that Zion Williamson is from South Carolina, so if you see him, have him book him for the show.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I believe those chances are slim,
but not none. So
we are right. We are right by the beach, and we're talking about renting the golf cart. I don't think we're leaving this general area.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, he may come off to that beach and try to relax and get away. Run right into him.
Hey, if he does, I'll tell him if I cross you up, you got to come on the show.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who has whom's ankles.
Right.
At that time.
I don't know if you've seen the game yet, NBA 2K21, but he's part of the storyline.
Yeah, I have not made that purchase yet. It's coming soon, though. That's my Christmas gift to myself. I've decided to be responsible.
Oh, bless your heart. Do a little extra overtime, you got it, just like that.
Right? Yeah. I'm gonna have to make up for it. Seeing as I'm not at work right now.
You ain't making no deliveries anytime soon.
Right.
None. Not delivering a dang on thing.
Yeah. So once again, for those watching, thank you very much. Make sure y'all give us a follow on Facebook, a like on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and click on that.
Hell.
There it is. The choir. We got the choir.
Every time we're together, we both do it.
Let me stop.
Because anytime we go live,
I'm thinking you don't say something, Stan. Oh my God.
No, that one's your line. Okay. All right. You know what? So when I get back, we're gonna go through an emergency mini training camp, and we're gonna get you up to par. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a quick 35 seconds. You can't put that all on me now. Hold on. First of all, anytime we go live, you will be notified.
There it is.
Exactly. I knew my line.
All of this.
I'd have had the same line since 2018. Ain't nothing changed.
But hey,
2020, this year changed the whole lot. So that's
you know what? That is that's right. That is right as right can be.
Hey, Stan, can you do you mind showing us the view that you have right now in South Carolina?
Okay, so here is how do you work this on? Here's my beautiful view of a dang on hotel right in front of the beach. This is all I get. This is it. I get beautiful palm trees, including one right here. Luckily, this is okay. My phone told me this was east, so I'm trying to figure out why the moon is over here. But okay.
That's the other east.
I'm like, wait a minute.
The other east.
The compass told me this was east. So, of course, we'll be able to catch the sunrise out here. It's been pretty nice so far. First thing we did when we got here, put our toes in the sand.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, we here. Cool. I've missed beaches. I didn't think this was gonna be a thing for a while, but
Hey, I was there last week, so I feel you, bro.
Man, look, I'm gonna leave because this ain't Florida, so I'm gonna go. But man, it's good to be here.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, once again, for all those watching, we've been going strong 3 years consistently on Wednesdays and occasionally now on Thursdays. Make sure you once again y'all share this stream with all your peoples right now. If you're on Facebook and you're watching under my watch party and you leaving comments and questions, I can't see it. If you can't see it, you gotta leave all the comments. Excuse me, under the platform Sports Talk Show on either Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So with that being said, everyone, let's get right into it. We had some breaking news about the last maybe hour and a half, in which
that's funny because of our guest we just had last night. That's why I'm like, what is the odds of this?
Right. So, well, in regards to that, you're right, the XFL, but in the NBA, Doc Rivers is now the new head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. What are your thoughts on that?
Another
Trash.
team that will not get a ring.
Take SMH, trash, and why? But I'll
Look, my Bulls got Billy Donovan. I care not about any of these things. But,
like,
you know.
Nothing else. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but my condolences to the city of Philadelphia.
I feel you on that. I don't understand what made them make that move, and we know his track record. What the hell? I just knew they were going to get Tyronn Lue. To me, that'd be their best option.
No, Tyronn Lue probably going to the Clippers.
You think they're going to let Tyronn get the Clippers, y'all?
I think so.
I thought he'd been better fit in Philly because of helping out. What's up boy name? Simmons.
But Ben Simmons got to get a jumper. He has to get a jumper. If he doesn't get that, the team is not going to go as far as they hope to go.
So
He's got a jumper.
Overhyped then because he's still lacking a jumper. He's been drafted and say he's got to do all this and do that, and you haven't seen him do it yet.
You will say yes because they haven't delivered when it mattered the most, and they expected him to do so as a number 1 draft pick. Same thing with Embiid. You know, Stephen A. Smith said today, you too big to be keep on shooting all these 3-point shots. You need to be staying your butt in the hole and dominating.
They're trying to be like an AD and a Dirk and all that, a big man that can shoot.
Right.
He's trying to, keyword, trying.
Yeah, it's time to maximize your talents down low in the paint and dominate. Bottom line.
So the coach better hold him accountable then. We'll see what Doc does with this, but I still don't think that was a good move, but hey, that's Philly for you.
Yep.
I don't think Doc is going to hold anyone accountable. You got to remember, when he had them in L.A., DeAndre Jordan and Blake were shooting threes.
Jordan wasn't doing it that much. Blake is. Jordan, no. But CP3, look, you don't need Doc to hold them accountable because CP3 does that. That's one guard at points. Everybody put them in their place, teammate or not.
That's cool, but at the same time, that's still the coach's job to be like, stop shooting all these damn threes. And if he wasn't doing it with them, I don't think he's going to do it with Joel. Joel's still going to be out here shooting all these threes and stuff and eating spaghetti.
That's why I understand how they
made
made that pick of Doc. They should have got a younger coach or somebody, either a new fresh face who's new to head coaching or somebody that's track record's like, okay, I can try to wing them in, you know, but I don't know. Very questionable, but that's their team. That's Philly. They'll be talking about it next year. Why they didn't get to the second round of the playoffs again. The same old story.
Mm-hmm. And so I have Ty Lue going to the Clippers. I felt that Doc Rivers should have gone to New Orleans. I felt he should have took that route instead, but he's going to, once again, Philadelphia. We'll see who New Orleans picks, though. I'm very interested to see about who they're going to have lead Lonzo and Brandon Gilliam and Zion Williamson. So that should be pretty interesting. We do have
Brandon.
They're going to give
Brandon Ingram.
Chauncey Billups, any of them cats.
Chauncey Billups could be a good candidate.
I don't think I believe that players as coaches. Well, I'm gonna see what Steve does. After that, I have a stance on players as coaches.
He didn't do a bad job either.
No, he didn't.
Him and the owner got into it, but that's why that wasn't on his record. Players weren't complaining.
I mean, he's only okay. I'll make
Steve Kerr, another one.
Okay.
Steve Kerr has a bad team, but he's still a player coach.
I will never give Steve Kerr that credit because he
right.
did
Mark
nothing
Jackson
but
did that.
having another
It wasn't
man's
Steve.
team.
Right, that was Mark Jackson's team. You're right.
He ain't do nothing but inhabit another man's team, and I'll never give him credit for that.
We have a few comments here. Shouts out to Miss Alice Williams. Welcome to the show again. She says, hi, folks. And then we also have a comment from Team Clutch Elite Basketball. They say, Doc Rivers is not a good offensive coach.
True.
Correct.
Very much so. that was evident in that playoff series.
Wait. Take it before that playoff series. Take it back to the Clippers. The Celtics, I was told he looked up. But with the Clippers, like you're talking about with Jordan and Griffin, it wasn't that whole they taking too many threes. It's the fact that they always lose leads. They always lose a game in the fourth quarter, and they could hold it. They lead, they would have been fine. But they never did it. They lost so many playoffs because of that.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, real quick. I got to go make a store run, so I will be right back. This is what happens on live programming, people.
Oh, my gosh.
See you later, Stan.
All right.
All right. Now, so there goes Stan. Just for a minute. He'll be back later. Be safe out there. We have another comment from Team Clutch. It says there have been several really good player coaches. Like you were saying, Bunny. Steve Kerr, even though we know how Stan feels. Mark Jackson.
You got a point, though. Let's just say instead of Kerr, Mark Jackson. Let's just change that. That was his team.
Right. Jock Vaughn, I know he took over, I believe, like the remainder of the season for the Nets. He could have that team looking pretty good in the future. We'll see how. Oh, but I forgot. He can't because Steve Nash took over.
That's what I'm talking about. They ain't get Jock Vaughn a chance.
Right. Steve Nash took over. Some privilege, huh?
Right. I just read this yesterday. It's only now with Doc being rehired, 5 black coaches in the NBA now.
Team Clutch says Maurice Cheeks. He had a little run back then.
Maurice Cheeks, okay.
Then once again, Tyronn Lue. And maybe, if he gets an opportunity, maybe Sam Cassell.
Cassell, well, I mentioned him, yep. And like I said, Chauncey still hasn't broken in yet, but give Chauncey a chance. Yeah.
Miss Williams says, by the way, she thought last night's show was great. She really enjoyed Mr. Kurt Hunziker, and she hopes that the Battle House can come back. In which lead to what I believe you thought I was going to say earlier, Bunny, that The Rock had a nice video this morning saying that in 2021, the XFL will be back. He had a lot of different past videos, a collage. It had every team there, the Battlehawks, everybody there. So I think pretty much we know that the Battlehawks probably will be back. Just a matter of who's going to be running the team and the players, because you're going to have certain players who won't be there no more, like Jordan Ta'amu, because he's with the Chiefs now, other guys in different places and teams who now move to the NFL. But with The Rock, as we said last night, we all know how serious he is about business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to make...
He got a wind of our show, and that's why he decided to announce it today.
Hey, buddy, he was doing this. He was smelling. He was smelling our show. He was smelling our show. All right, so let's keep it going, though. Thanks to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, him and his ex, Danny, doing big things.
I like that partnership. Ex or not, they got business to do together. And I'm all for it. And her being a woman, I hope that helps to expose more women to get in leadership and into the sports management. Now,
something else that they got to talk about in the NBA that was just put out. Kyrie Irving. I don't know if you saw this, Bunny, but today he was on a podcast, I believe, with Kevin Durant. And he told him, he said, this is the first time in my career I can look down and be like, that MFer can make that shot too. So you know, Twitter world, everybody was going crazy like that has to be a shot on the King. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, oh man. Where is the next NBA season? I'm just saying. Hey, I was just talking about this last night as far as Kyrie and LeBron. No, when you asked me about was LeBron going to pass the torch on to AD, and I said he got to win a ring first, and he asked me about the teammates. And I said D Wade definitely is better than AD for right now. He's proved himself. But Kyrie and LeBron, they never got along, and I don't know if it's just more ego or what, but I'm not surprised at that statement. But I'm just ready to see them hash it out again on the court. Like, let's just go.
Yeah.
While LeBron's healthy too, you know.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I'm not going to say I 100% agree with Kyrie, but I can see his point, even though he already said later on IG that was not directed to LeBron James. But I will say, LeBron isn't normally used to be that guy to shoot and make the last shot. I will say that.
You say he's not normally?
No, he's not that guy that will usually make that game-winning 3-point shot. You know, he make.
Okay, if it was a game-winning 2-point shot, is that different, or you put that in the same category?
My thing is clutch. He's talking about in the clutch.
And that's why I'm asking, because LeBron he hasn't done it like Kobe, and he hasn't done it like Mike, or even a Robert Horry, for talking about playoffs and clutch. But he has hit some game winners. Now, again, I know I can see how you be like,
Some.
No, but let's specifically talk playoffs and game winning. It's a lot on the line in playoffs more than regular season games. But, I mean, usually what he does is from the last few playoff games, and not just this year, but even when he's with Cleveland, if he's not taking that shot, he's definitely going to try to run to the hole and try to get a foul or something. And I saw him in Cleveland doing that sometimes because, you know, I was a big critic on him when he was with Miami. When he used to didn't try to take over the game, or he'll wait too late.
Right.
When you are the man, it's your team. You take over way before 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You taking over second half if y'all behind. He didn't do that, so I can see, like I said, Kyrie and him didn't get along. But Kyrie's a person that would do it. LeBron, at one time, you know, his game would be let me pass it to somebody else, even though he could do it himself. So
yeah, and I was gonna say this, but Team Clutch already beat me to it. He may not make that clutch shot, but he'll make those clutch winning plays. So I do understand that. So I'm not saying he's not clutch, because he is. But in regards to what Kyrie is saying, in regards to taking that last shot, Kyrie or LeBron, I would say, isn't that guy who gonna really make that last shot. But he will make a great clutch play, though. A clutch play doesn't mean it'll be a layup or a jumper. It could just be setting up somebody else to make that great, finish. So I'll say it like that. So I do understand where Kyrie is getting at, because KD has been that guy who has done that in the clutch. Speaking of clutch,
and Kyrie too. Sometimes we seen Kyrie do it.
Exactly. And he said that's why he will, more than likely hold the ball and do it himself. So then also, Team Clutch says LeBron is one of the few players that can make a game-winning play, assist, block, or a shot. Exactly. That's a game-winning play. We all know what he did against the Golden State when they won the title. Had that incredible block that changed the whole momentum of the game. So
it did. Hell of a block.
He'll make plays like that. So definitely shouts out to him. And speaking of the finals, last night we had Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and for all those who came into this series feeling like, I know yesterday you were saying you see Miami probably winning maybe 2-3 games. LA came out yesterday and said, I don't know. And now today,
only one game.
Now,
ask Denver.
Hey,
y'all said they were gonna be swept, and they got one game from them though.
I know. Last night I said gentleman sweep, so it'll be 4-1.
And I told you
two or three, right? 2 or 3 games,
and maybe 3. I said 2. Now, granted, we didn't know until this morning that Dragic and what's his name is injured.
Yeah, Bam.
Yeah. So that does make a little difference too, but
yeah. But the Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, they are a fighting team. So I expect for
Eric Spoelstra trying to put them in a better position. Now, Team Clutch is probably gonna disagree because I said Walters is a good coach. He took another team to the finals that's not including LeBron, and still this defeat yesterday, they got their butts whooped. But that doesn't mean it's over. You got to make adjustments, but we'll see.
Yeah, but as I was saying earlier, Jimmy Butler, he's a great guy to lead a team, and he's gonna make sure that they fight like dogs, and see if they can go ahead and do their thing. But we're not gonna hold our guests any longer. Without any further ado, this man here won a Super Bowl championship with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That year they faced off against Kurt Warner and the Arizona Cardinals. He's done a little bit of radio at 101 ESPN, and now he's in his third year as the head coach of Hazelwood Central football team. Everybody, let's go ahead and show some love to our special guest as he comes in on Zoom, Mr. Kerry Davis. Coach, what is going on?
Coach Davis in the building. Well, virtually. Let me say that.
How's it going?
Man, everything is well. Thank you for taking some time out to be part of our show. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Just staying out the way, staying healthy, and staying ready for whenever we get a chance to get back out there and let these kids play some football.
Man,
Coach Davis, I noticed you and our DJ Smooth over here got that salt and pepper look, equal length and everything. Y'all twinning tonight? What's up?
Beer gang.
Salt and pepper with it and everything. I'm like, what's up? I can get a little fake beard and join the club day.
You look much better without one, though. You good.
Please do not try it. Do not try this at home. Do not try this at home.
I'll keep the look like it is now. I'm just trying to be a team player, y'all. That's all. My bad.
So, Coach, with everything that is going on right now with the pandemic, we know that a few days ago, Sam Page said that, okay, we're going to start having these restrictions be a little bit lesser. How has that affected your team and your division? Are y'all making plans on trying to find a certain spot like other teams are doing, try to go further out so you can still have these games, or what's going on right now with your situation?
No, we're pretty much set for the spring. It's a group of what used to be the Suburban North Conference and then some other schools in North County that we're pretty much set for spring football. We made that decision a while ago when all the restrictions were put in place, kind of before Misha gave everyone a heads up as to what was going to take place or how everything was going to function this season. We made that decision to play in the spring, and I think it's a good choice. It's unfortunate for our kids. They want to get out there and play now, but our job as coaches, as teachers, as adults is to make sure that the kids are healthy and safe in everything that we do. So that means we got to play in the spring. That means we got to play in the spring, but we'll be ready whenever it's time to get out there and get to it.
There we go.
Okay, right, smart. That's what's up. Smooth, you just brought up something I want to ask Coach Davis before we get into the steak and potatoes here. I just read an article from one of the Post-Dispatch writers regarding, believe it or not, the headline was racism and dealing with this pandemic in football. And where the article was going was you have some of these kids, St. Louis County, mind you, includes all St. Louis County public schools, right? But you have some of these, I guess, ADs and football coaches are trying to play other schools right now, but it's like, wait a minute, what about all the other St. Louis County football teams that can't play? Why won't y'all wait till the spring? It's like y'all don't want to play or wait to play certain teams. I mean, what's up with that? Because we know North County encompasses a lot of schools that look like a certain race and majority, and then St. Louis County schools in South County look a different color. And it's like, well, we're going to try to play some other schools. Why y'all can't wait like everybody else?
You know what? I can't answer that because I don't coach those other teams. I can only speak for Hazelwood Central and tell you what we do. I can't even speak for none of the other teams in North County. I know what we're doing, how we're preparing, and we don't care who it is. We're going to play whoever, wherever, whenever, and it could be in the parking lot. If they got pads and lights and we want to get it in, we can do it there. That's just how we are, trying to build this culture for our team, for our program, to make sure that we're ready whenever time comes to get out there and play. So, if those guys want to play in the fall, have at it. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. I wish everybody safety. I wish everybody well and that everybody makes it out clean. But for Hazelwood Central and what we're doing, we're going to play in the spring. And like I said, our kids going to be ready to rock and roll when it's time.
That's what's up, man. Now, last night, as we had Kurt Hunziker, the former and should be, once again, the president of the Battlehawks, he had a nice, dope little backdrop. He had Adam Wainwright jersey, David Freese jersey, Bush Stadium in the background. Now, looking at your background, I'm seeing a jersey hung up on the side. Can you tell everybody what that jersey is? Can you show everybody real quick?
There's a few of them back there. One is me. Well, two of them, those two, the first two are me. The last one down there is Willie Parker. And then I got a few more. I've got a couple that is not hung up yet.
Right.
A couple of teammates and friends, Santonio Holmes, who caught the Super Bowl touchdown.
Right.
Game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. I know y'all were having a little discrepancy about that. It was a catch in the end zone. He's back there, and then a couple of other teammates. So, yeah, just a few of my friends, close friends, and really family. I don't consider them friends, really family. So, I'm excited. I'm happy that they were signing for me, and I can get them up in my house.
Now, we don't expect to see any of these jerseys being on eBay or anything anytime soon, correct?
No.
Auctioned off.
My son is he's a football fanatic, so I'm certain that when it's time for me to move on, he'll be ready to hold on to him and keep him in his possession.
Nice. We have a comment from Miss Alice Williams. She says, I think going outside the county to play just because they don't have the same restrictions is risky. There are already cases of COVID popping up in Jefferson County and St. Charles. Thoughts on that, Kerry?
I mean, like I said, it's risky no matter where you play. I mean, football is a contact sport. I'm sitting here watching, what's going on with the Steelers and the Titans game for this weekend, how it had to be postponed.
Right.
Due to all the people in Tennessee that contracted the virus. So, I think it's definitely risky. You do your best to try to prevent everyone from coming in contact, but it's hard to do that when you're actually playing the game. When you're at home or when you're at practice, you can find different ways to handle that. But in the game and in those environments, it becomes a little bit tougher. So, like I said earlier, I just hope everybody does make it out safely and without any positive tests, and they can continue to go on and play the football the way that they want to play it.
We've asked prior guests, coaches, who's going through this pandemic, whether it's football, whether it's soccer, track and field, basketball, etc. What are you doing right now to get these guys to stay in shape, stay ready, so when the season is coming up, it won't be a big lapse in trying to get everyone prepared?
Well, right now we've been doing it. What month are we in? I don't even know.
October now.
I don't know.
Right. He's like, wait, what? We still in 2020, right?
Right.
It's still 2020. I do know that. We've been having our kids work out twice a week for about 4 or 5 weeks now. Just 30-minute circuit workouts. I tell the parents they only need enough room to do jumping jacks and push-ups. And then we add some other things in, mountain climbers, things to get their heart rate up, things to get them stronger without having weights because, most people don't have weights in their home just readily available. So whatever we can do body weight-wise and conditioning-wise inside is what we're doing. And like I said, we do it 30 minutes Tuesdays and Thursdays and just really try to keep them motivated, keep them excited. And it's our way as coaches to be able to check in on them and really check and see how they're doing. Because the pandemic, you got the virus, obviously, is a tough thing to deal with. But you also got, not being able to be outside like you normally were, not being able to be around your friends and your classmates and your teammates. So, mentally, just checking on them, seeing how they're doing is part of what we do on those Tuesdays and Thursdays as well to make sure everybody is good and see if anybody needs anything and what's going on. And it's been pretty good for us so far. We've been having a pretty decent turnout. As a coach, we always want 100%, so we're striving for that. But we've been having some pretty good turnouts, and I'm happy where we are right now.
what was their initial reaction when COVID came down? Were there certain guys that were scared to try to do anything? Like, Coach, I'm not sure about playing anymore because what's going on, or my mom and dad, they're concerned about my well-being because I'm going to be around the guys. Did you have any of those issues?
Yeah, I had a few parents, reach out to me and say, they had their concerns. And me personally, I get it. My son has asthma. He's asthmatic. So I definitely do my best to stay away from people as much as possible because I don't want to catch anything and have to come home to him with it. So I understand how parents are feeling, and some players are feeling that way. And we just told them, do whatever you feel is best. And when this thing is over, hopefully it's over soon, you'll be back out here. And I told the parents I wouldn't hold it against them. When we only had one workout in the summer. We were only allowed one workout before we shut everything down. But just telling them, like, we're not going to hold your child, accountable for not being here. He's not going to lose a starting spot, or he's not going to miss out on playing time solely because he's not here for reasons of COVID. So that was really our thing, making sure that everybody was comfortable. When we did have our workout, we were in groups of 10, and everybody was socially distanced as much as they could be outside, and we were doing what we needed to do. But unfortunately, we got shut down, and we were one of the first schools to shut it down. So our kids got over that hump of being disappointed early on when other kids started really feeling it. We had been done for a couple of weeks already. So, and I had told them it's probably going to be the same thing for the other kids as well. So they've done a great job of really understanding what's going on. And in football, just like in life, things come up, things happen. What's next? What are you going to do next? You going to sit there and complain about it, or are you going to move on to the next task and handle that the best way you can? And I think that's what our kids are doing right now. And I'm happy. I'm proud of them.
Nice. So going to what Bunny said earlier, the steak and potatoes, because we got to find out more about you as a young athlete. When would you say that you developed your love of sports?
Oh man, I love sports ever since I was a kid, 3, 4, 5 years old. Mm-hmm. I played every sport available, and just really enjoyed it. I know you said you had Brandon Gilmore on a couple months ago, or last month, or something like that.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. He was me and him being friends since we were in the second grade playing basketball together.
Nice.
So I played basketball, baseball, soccer, football. I just love sports as a child, as growing up, and I love watching it, love playing it, and really felt that I could do something with sports in my life at some point.
You said if it had a ball, it was attracted to you. You played it.
I was on it.
And year round, so you did all the sports year round, just always doing it.
Yeah, I was involved in everything. I mean, my mom worked a lot, so my coaches. That's why I said Brandon and I were so close, because his dad was one of our coaches. He would pick me up about every single day, drop me off. So we were really tight growing up. So my coaches had a huge impact on me as a young man, and being able to fulfill the dream of playing sports and playing different sports and doing that thing. So I kind of take that into what I do now as a coach and enjoy that part of it as well.
So you just had a coach, like how Brandon's father was. You pick the kids up, you mentor, you do the fatherly advice.
A coach is not enough of a title. I am a Uber driver. I am a psychologist. I am a doctor. We coaches, we do so many things. A teacher, we do so many things. Father figure, it's a lot of things that's encompassed into being a coach. So, when you say you're a coach, you got to understand you're going to be picking kids up, dropping them off, feeding them because they ain't had no food today, for whatever reason. And you just it come with the territory. So we understand it, we appreciate it, and we look forward to it. We enjoy it.
So what was that? What was that very first sport that you played?
Very first sport was probably soccer.
Whoa. Okay.
Soccer and baseball. Yeah. I didn't play football. I played soccer from 5 years old until I was 12. I didn't play football until I was 12. Yep. I was always too big to play football. That's back when they had a weight limit. So I was always over the weight limit.
Hey, they couldn't use it as a striper. You couldn't at least do the line.
I couldn't do that. They didn't have it back then. Now they have kids that just play line, but you had to be a certain weight, and that wasn't my story. So
that wasn't all your fault. Those numbers were skewed back then. They ain't trying to do the numbers right, you know.
So soccer was probably my first sport. Basketball was probably my first love. I really thought I was gonna go to the NBA. That was my thing. I love basketball, still do. But football kind of took over, and I had a coach that kind of pushed me in that direction, and it was for the best.
Now you mentioned pushing you in that direction. Who were some of your influences? Whether it could have been family. I know you said Brandon Gilmore, your coach. Who would you say, or the amount of people that was right there by your side pushing you through?
My mom was definitely one person that stayed on me. Stayed on me, made sure I did schoolwork, made sure that I did everything I needed to do. She worked her butt off, so it wasn't no excuses for me to be lazy and not do nothing. My aunt, my great-grandfather, and like I said, all of my coaches, really, Brandon's dad, Lemuel Gilmore, like that was really like another father to me. He did everything that a dad, would do. It was like he had another son in the house with me.
Another mouth to feed, another son to ask for homework, discipline.
Burning up his gas because he had to come pick me up and drop me off. So, definitely a lot of my coaches. Lim definitely was one of them, especially though.
Shout out to him. Shout out. All right.
So while playing football, did you play for a certain league before going to high school?
Yeah, I played for Dickey.
Yeah,
he's a Matthew Dickey.
There it is.
I played anywhere else. I'd have hung this thing up. Listen.
Matthew Dickey, baby.
Hey, I played for him too, so I got you, Coach. I got you.
There it is.
Man, it's almost like who didn't play at Matthew Dickey between football, baseball, basketball, cheerleading, shoot. Everybody I know did something at Matthew Dickey except me, right?
It's okay, Bunny. It's cool. It's all right. You still get love.
I know people that did it, so I'm gonna get a couple of points for that.
Most definitely. All right, so Coach, what high school did you go to?
I went to Hazelwood Central.
Okay.
So you coaching for your alma mater? That's what's up.
Coaching at my alma mater. It was really, really special for me to be able to come back to the school I went to help kids in the same position that I was in 20 years ago. So I definitely, when the opportunity was presented, I was excited. I probably wouldn't have been anywhere else but Central. That's where I'm from. That's what I believe in. That's who we are, and we're gonna do everything we can to make sure we get it right.
Nice.
Opportunity. You went there 20 years ago.
I graduated in '99.
Oh, okay.
My first season was 2018. So. 19 years, I guess, but my last football season was 1998, so it was 20 years.
So that's crazy because that's the same thing with Brandon Gilmore. He went to Hazelwood Central and then came back as a coach. So when you knew about him being a coach, how did that make you feel? You did the same thing as well.
Yeah, Hand was coaching there, for a while as an assistant. And when the opportunity, you laughed at that.
Because, I'm sorry, finish your story. I'm going to go back to that nickname because I can't believe it. And I can't say it, and you know why. Go ahead.
He was an assistant there for a few years before he became the head coach. So when the opportunity was presented for me, I definitely reached out to him, talked to him, and asked him, what to expect and how was it. I don't think anybody is ever really fully prepared to be a head coach at any level because there are so many things that you have to do that you don't know that you have to do until you're asked to do it. But it definitely was definitely good and fun for me. I was excited that I was able to get back there and do that.
Nice. So you at Hazelwood Central. What sports?
Hold on. I want to know what Bunny was going to ask.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Go ahead, Bunny.
Because you said his nickname. You said his nickname. I'm like, wait, what? So when he was in the studio a couple weeks ago, I heard that was your nickname. I'm like, how the hell you get that name? But of course, with y'all are guys, I was like, I'm not gonna call you that because y'all know how it go left real fast.
So I actually gave him that nickname.
Wow.
When we were kids.
Okay.
His head was so damn big. So we call him Head. And they called me Fats because they, I told you I couldn't lose that weight to play football, so my nickname was Fats. His nickname was Head, and as a kid, you get picked on or teased about the things that you have no control over sometimes, and that's how life go.
I just couldn't imagine it as a nickname. Like, what? These people be like big head, not just head. Like, oh, look at that little big head boy, But
that's what he was. Look at that little big head boy, and so he just took off the big head, just called him Head.
There it is.
I still couldn't believe it. And I'm like, that is your name, and you the one that gave it to. Heck no.
Yep.
Anyway,
He is
that,
the reason.
That's Coach Gilmore to me, okay? Like you, Coach Davis, because again, I'm not in the industry with a lot of women, and y'all go left real fast. We say this wrong stuff, so.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, for real. Again, okay. Y'all done got me a couple of times. Yeah, I'm like, y'all ain't about to keep getting me. Okay.
Coach, earlier, as you were talking about what your kids were going through with the pandemic, Ms. Williams, she said, I'm sure that your positive attitude affects them positively as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I try to treat everything. Football to me is a microcosm of really what life is. I mean, you're going to have things come up that you have no control over at all. And how do you respond? Do you sit there and complain and moan and groan? Or do you just get up and get going? I mean, we all, as adults, we've had things that happen and I was like, what the hell is this happening? But, it's life. It's going to happen. It's things that you have no control over. You're going to get a bad call by the referee. You're going to get a missed call by the referee. You're going to get a misplay by one of your teammates or by yourself. What are you going to do after that? How do you respond from that? Because that's really what life is. It's about, what you do after the things that happen to you and how you respond in a positive way. So I said, we once we found out we wasn't going to complain or be upset. You can be upset for a time, but when it's time to get back to work, it's time to get back to work, and we over it. And, you deal with what you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm. So what sports did you play at Hazelwood Central?
I played basketball, played football, ran track for about a year. Then I hurt my hip, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I stuck with football and basketball.
So once you got to doing football for real, that's when you put down the soccer cleats and no more soccer.
Yeah. Once I got to playing football for real, wasn't no need for me to play soccer anymore. I was out there full time on the football field and getting to it.
I believe Bunny asked this question last week to Steve Savard in regards to playing multiple sports. How important was it for you to play multiple sports?
I think playing multiple sports is a great thing. I know that now, you got a lot of parents and a lot of kids solely focused on one sport, but I think when you play multiple sports, the movements are vastly different. When you're playing basketball, you got to shuffle, you got to slide, you got to do movements differently than if you're playing football. If you're a DB in football, you backpedaling a lot. If you're playing baseball, you're moving laterally, chasing balls down or going from first to third. So, I think playing other sports definitely helps, with mobility and with injuries, because I believe that if you constantly work on the same thing over and over and over and over again, that's when you start to get the wear and tear on your body. So if I'm a running back and I only work on running back drills 12 months out of the year, I'm constantly doing those same drills over and over and over again. I think now this is my opinion. This ain't no doctor saying nothing like this, but I believe that those muscles are deteriorating a little bit faster than if you're using different muscle groups doing different things.
And you said basketball earlier. What position did you play?
Point guard. I was the original Draymond Green.
Oh, all right.
I was point forward. Yeah.
Point forward. Okay, before he made it cool, huh? He was like, I got that.
And put me on the best player they got. I'm gonna make sure he don't score tonight. That's my goal.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of basketball, I'm assuming, did you watch the documentary The Last Dance?
I did. Yes, I did.
Give me 2 or 3 takeaways from that.
Whew.
Everybody does that.
I think, well, it's hard to because it was a lot of things. I think I showed the kids one of the clips, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was just Michael Jordan's his drive and his passion, and I think a lot of the kids nowadays expect things to be given to them without putting in the work, and I think it was the clip where he was saying if you're not willing to do this hard, then you got to get away from me. He was almost in tears.
Right.
And that's how much, like, that's how I feel about football. Like, if you're not willing to put in everything, if you only gonna give me half or a little bit, a third, you got to move away from me because I'm giving everything I got, and to watch somebody not give their all and maybe be more talented, we're gonna have a clash. It's gonna be a problem, and I think that's the one thing I wanted to pass along to the kids was the drive to be great. Everybody say they want to be great, but your work ethic is subpar. It ain't even close to good. So how you think you're gonna be great? So that was one takeaway. And then, I was a Bulls fan in the '90s. I think every kid in Chicago and St. Louis probably was. I was watching WGN every night, every other night. The Bulls games.
Right.
So just to go inside and see, just to see, the ins and outs of it was awesome for me. And I was a Dennis Rodman fan, and his whole talking about catching rebounds off the backboard in different angles.
Right.
You don't even think about things like that. You think he just see ball, get ball, but he understands flight paths and all of this stuff. And it's just the intelligence that athletes have. I think sometimes is really not thought about it at that level. So all of those things were exciting for me, but just to watch it in general was good.
And then something that Jordan said, as you brought up earlier while he was in tears, is that being someone in his position of being that guy, being that leader, it requires sacrifice. You may have to be that bad guy and get on everybody's nerves, but that's just because you want to get them to that level of where he was. And you want everyone to come together and let's win, because it's all about championship. It's not just about getting paid and playing. No, it's about, especially to him, it was about championships. Then you brought up Rodman. It's good that a lot of these kids saw that it wasn't just about him getting the rebound and that's it. He studied. He knew certain guys' moves. He could tell by the look of their eyes how serious they were about something.
Right.
People don't realize that. So it's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes things that you have to do. I think they showed him with one of those small, old-school TVs. He right in front of the TV just looking at it for hours, looking at it, studying. People don't realize how important it is to do all that.
I think it was interesting to hear the story about Dennis Rodman when they said he was gone for a few days.
Right.
We went to Vegas.
And after he came back, they thought he was going to be out of shape, and they did a drill where the last person got to catch the first person. He was the first person. He would not let them catch him.
Right.
About 2 or 3 laps. Like he was with all the other things going on, he was one of them guys that was completely focused on his job and his task. And I think that, for me, that was exciting to see. I love seeing guys work at their craft and really be good at it and take pride in it. And, that's what I really try to, pass along to the young kids is if you want to be great at something, you got to put in hours, and that means you're going to have to sacrifice something. You might have to sacrifice some time on the TV or time on Instagram or Snapchat or, you're going to have to sacrifice something. Xbox. You're going to have to sacrifice something in order to be good at something else. So I thought that was, like I said, I think all of it was really good. I thought it was really well put together.
Alice Williams says she's always liked Dennis Rodman.
I've always been a fan too. I probably would like to hang out with old Rodman one day. It might be a little too wild for me, but
one of them hangover type nights with him.
Yeah, you might need some pictures to happen, but it'd be a good time.
Yeah. So, how would you describe yourself as a player when you play football, when you play soccer, when you played basketball?
I think for me, I tell my kids this, I was never the best player on the team, even in high school. Like my high school football team, I wasn't the best player on the team. But I can guarantee you none of them was going to work harder than me. And that was just my mindset. I wasn't the worst kid on the team now. It wasn't that neither. I might have been second or third. But I wasn't what you would consider probably the best, most athletically gifted. But I was going to outwork everybody that came, in my path. And that was my thing I started that as a kid and kept it with me throughout my entire career. Just work hard. I kind of tricked myself into always believing, and it's not a trick because it's true, but that it's always somebody working harder than you somewhere. He might not be in St. Louis. He may not be in St. Charles. He might be in Florida. He might be in New York or Los Angeles, Long Beach, somewhere. Somebody working harder than you. So how do you combat that? You got to work harder every single day. And that was just my mindset at every turn. Every time I got an opportunity, I was going to work harder than anybody I could see and try to outwork the people that I couldn't see.
So what was the highest level that you reached while in high school? Did you win a state championship in any sport, or what was the highest that you got to?
We won the state championship in high school my sophomore year. And I don't talk about myself a lot, but I've won a championship on every level that I played on. High school, we won state, Big Ten championship with Illinois, and Super Bowl in the NFL. And like I said, it's just having great teammates, but really those guys holding each other accountable. And I couldn't go out there and not give everything I got if I know one of my teammates is depending on me and counting on me. So you're really not playing the game for yourself most times. You're playing for the man next to you to make sure you don't let him down. And I don't want to let my guy down. I want to make sure I do everything I can to give my best effort because I know I can, and he expects the same. I expect the same thing from him.
Tell us about your recruitment process before going to Illinois.
And look, please do not mention the movie He Got Game.
Nah, I don't know nothing about that.
Every time I'm like, here we go.
I don't even know what you're referring to when you speak of that.
Okay. And they came out when you was in high school. Okay.
That was crazy, wasn't it? Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know nothing about it, so do tell.
It makes two of us.
Hey, Kerry, ask Bunny, what school did you go to in college?
What school did you go to?
Coach Davis, why does that matter? We're talking about you. We're all about you.
He told me to ask. I was just wondering.
I went to LU. Yes,
okay.
Lincoln University, Missouri. Right. LU. Yes, proud alum.
I saw you said you had never been to Lincoln. I don't think I've ever been. I might have been once. I think I've been to Lincoln.
Yeah, I have not been. Every opportunity.
It's a great historically black college and university. Great students, great alum.
Actually just got a scholarship to there, so I just texted with him yesterday.
Nice.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, Fred got this other image for some reason, but we have good people to graduate. We do positive things with our lives and try to encourage the next generation.
Hey, the only positive thing y'all do is make sure y'all get a hot artist to come through and perform.
Again, the lies.
But all right, so in the past, every opportunity I had to go to Lincoln University, something will always come up, whether it was basketball related or work related. I couldn't make it. Then last year, I was gonna finally have my opportunity to go because I'm also a professional DJ. So shouts out to Smooth Motivation Productions. But it was leading into that weekend of us going, and then it got canceled because the organizers couldn't get things together. And they went on and scrapped it. And it was supposed to be the same weekend, of course, of homecoming weekend. I believe Megan Thee Stallion was going to be there and some other artists. So, I was like, oh, man, it's about to be crazy there. And find out, nope, it got canned.
A little different.
Right.
Davis, though. I'm sorry that happened to him. Again, we have very great alumni. We have great students. We encourage the next generation to do great things with their lives, and we like for people to give back. That's all.
And speaking of which, Oh, sorry. Speaking of which, Bunny, my cousin Dana has some nice old school Lincoln pictures. Y'all definitely was contributing to to the cause.
Yes, we were. I'll say this, because at this age, Coach Davis, at your age, if you go to any HBCU homecoming, you know, it's a big family reunion. But I don't see myself at a Megan Thee Stallion concert with any of your players. Think about it. Even if y'all listen to the same music, it's like, I can't see myself at the same place with my players or students. That's me. I mean, everybody did.
I might be there and just in a different area than they are in. If I had,
That's why I changed the venue
They don't
altogether.
come. I mean, you know, I might have showed up and just hung out in a different area.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you about your recruiting to college. So, how was the experience, and how is the recruiting different from when you were getting recruited to college for football to your players now?
It is way different. I feel like I'm so far removed from what it is now. I mean, now, you know, they have all of these rankings and 2-star, 3-star. I think the stars came out maybe a couple of years after I graduated and got into college, so I missed all of that. But for me, the recruiting process wasn't bad at all. I mean, I kind of had an idea. I didn't have many options, so it wasn't that hard. I had a few options to choose from: Mizzou, Illinois, Northwestern, Arkansas State, and might have been one more. But when I went on my visit to Illinois, I just knew that that's where I wanted to be. And I've always thought ahead as far as what I want to do and how to do it. And I saw at Illinois they ran a pro-style offense, the type of offense that I see on Sundays, you know, in the NFL. So in my mind, I'm like, that's where I need to go play football at, because that's what they run in the NFL, and I can learn that offense and I can, you know, become good in it, and that'll make my next step to the NFL, you know, not easier, but a little bit easier than running the option at Missouri, which I wasn't gonna go do.
So can you help me out a little bit? Because I know X's and O's, but not like you are. Mm-hmm. So how did you know from high school, like you were definitely a student of the game, to know a college offense is being ran like on a professional level? Like, how did you
Well, like I said, I watched football like for real. Like as a kid, I loved watching it even before I was able to start playing it. I was a 49ers fan, and they ran the West Coast offense. You know, and they gave Tom Rathman the football and Roger Craig, and you know, so watching that as a kid, and then when I went to Illinois on my visit and learning that this is the same type of offense that they run, and you know, getting to see clips of it and different things that I got to see, I was like, oh, okay, that's where I need to be, because that's what the 49ers run, and that's, you know, they were winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl in the 80s. So for me to be in that same type of offense, I knew that eventually I would be able to make it to the NFL and have some type of success if I could master that offense.
Okay, so you didn't have many recruits.
And I knew, and I take shots at Mizzou any chance I get, so don't mind me.
Hey, come on it down.
I don't care.
I knew that Missouri ran the triple option, and I ain't never seen that on a Sunday, so wasn't no reason for me to go to Mizzou.
But that was the coaching back then. Now it's different.
Yeah, it's different now. It's different now. Mizzou actually is I don't discredit those guys at all. I think they're doing a great job of what they're doing. And when I was in college, they beat us a couple of times, so I really can't talk too much.
I was going to ask that question. I was going to ask, were you part of those games at the Dome?
Man, it was bad, man. It was bad. It wasn't
the border wars, they were called them? What were they called back then?
Yeah, I think it was, that's what it's called in basketball. I think they called it that in football.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't no fun. We got the time. I was a part of 2 of those losses. Come home to St. Louis and get the brakes beat off of you and then drive back to Champaign. Ain't no fun about that. So I take my hat off to them guys for that. They did a great job.
So
I do give Mizzou credit, even a few years before when Pickle got there, they were sending out a lot of defensive players to the NFL though, and they was holding it down. So they didn't have winning records all the time, but they got them defensive players out there.
They done had some good players make it to the league and had some success at the college level as well.
So staying with the Mizzou Illinois game at the Dome, tell us about how electric the crowd was at those games?
Oh man, it was. I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't. Have you ever been to the basketball game?
Yes, I have.
So
I haven't been privileged, so
it's
like me.
it's. I mean, the football game was the same. You look at the stadium, and one side is orange and blue, and the other side is black and gold, and it's really split right down the middle. And it's a really cool thing to see and experience and to be a part of. Obviously, for us, it wasn't that fun getting beat, but to be there and to be in it, it's just exciting. It was exciting, and I think they're gonna start it back up here in the next couple of years.
Yep,
so
that's correct.
I'm looking forward to seeing that because I try to make it to the basketball game when I can. So it'll be fun to see the football game taking place as well.
Yeah, I went to my first basketball game against Missouri, Illinois 2 years ago. And, yeah, that was definitely electric, man. I love the scene.
Yeah.
It was just so intense. So you got to get that back, man. Definitely got to get that back.
Definitely.
So you talked about recruitment from high school to college. We've had some stories from previous professionals in regards to getting drafted. So tell us about that process and what you went through.
I was undrafted.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was undrafted. I was going into my senior year. I was the number 2 fullback in the country. I still believe I should have been number 1. I'm still bothered by that. But I do believe I was the best fullback in the country. And I actually, in practice, probably a week before the game at Mizzou, against Mizzou, I had a knee injury. I had to go get my knee scoped. I had what they call loose bodies in your knee, and my knee kept locking, and I could not bend it at all. So I got the knee surgery on a Tuesday, and then I played in the game on Saturday.
Wow.
And I did well, but the following Tuesday I got a staph infection. So yeah, and didn't know how bad it was. So I missed the next 3 games, but I really wasn't myself until probably the 8th or 9th game of the year. And obviously that time off and not playing well put me in a position to not be drafted. So I didn't get invited to the combine. Did have a pro day, and then I did get a call from a couple of teams after the draft ended in 2004, and I ended up going to the Indianapolis Colts. And I knew that it was going to be hard work to make the team, and I had to grind it out in order to get it done. And I thought I did pretty well. I made the team, played in the first game of the year. We had a couple of injuries, and then they cut me. We played Sunday night or Thursday night, and then I think they cut me on Saturday. And then later on that year, I ended up in Atlanta. We went to the NFC Championship game, 1 game away from the Super Bowl, when we lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I ain't really have no draft story. Just grinding.
The draft journey, though.
Yeah, definitely.
So you had the opportunity to play with Peyton Manning, play against Mike Vick.
Play with Mike Vick.
Play with Mike Vick. Played against
against Donovan McNabb.
Against McNabb. And then
I played with him later on.
that's
okay.
That's crazy. That's an amazing time. So
Yeah.
because I know that you went to the Big Ten, so every road game was, I know, crazy. Going to Ohio State, going to Michigan State, etc. Going to the NFL, was it the same type of hypeness, or was the college experience better for you in regards to on the road?
I mean, I think when you playing at Michigan and it's 100-something thousand fans screaming, or when you playing at Ohio State or Penn State and they got what they call a whiteout and everybody got white T-shirts on and there's 112,000 people, it's definitely different. But the NFL environment, I mean, it's its own entity. It was definitely something different as well. And when I got to Pittsburgh, the crazy thing about that, we would travel to different teams, different cities, and we would have more fans there than they would at times.
Right.
So, we went to Arizona in 2007, And I just remember it was more black and gold in the stands than it was red and white, and I was completely amazed by that. So it depends on where you play and who you play for, kind of give you that experience. But it's I can't knock either one of them. It's anytime you in an environment where there's that many people yelling and screaming, and whether it's for you to do well or do poorly, I wouldn't change that for the world.
So tell us about playing with Peyton Manning and then Mike Vick.
So I got a funny story. Well, it's funny to me. So I was a rookie in Indianapolis, and I remember in the huddle, we were in practice, and I'm sitting in the huddle and waiting on a couple of people, and I'm looking around the huddle. I'm like, this is my first few practices, and I'm looking at the starting offensive line. I'm looking at Reggie Wayne. I'm looking at Peyton. I'm standing right next to Edgerrin James. Marcus Pollard was the starting tight end right at the time. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if Marvin Harrison joins this huddle, like I'm in here with the number one offense of the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm literally in the huddle just kind of in awe. And Marvin runs in, and I'm still in awe. And Peyton says to play ready break, and I didn't hear nothing he said. I missed the entire play. And I went into like a panic, like, oh, wait, what are you doing? What I got? So he ended up telling me, and it was cool, but it was playing with Peyton is it was probably if you really love football and really love, I play chess. I love chess. It's a thinking game. Playing with Peyton is along the lines of that, because there are things that'll change, from play to play, and you have to be ready and know what you're doing. If not, you're not gonna play. So for me, that was an experience like no other. And like I said, I played with some other great quarterbacks, but I think for the people that I played with, hands down, he was the best one. And it was only a short period of time, but you could learn a lot in that short period of time around him.
Shouts out to the St. Louis Trotters. They say, what's up, guys? That's a men's professional basketball team for like the 30. Well, I think they have a variety of ranges, but it's an older professional team, so shouts out to them.
But they always tuning in, so shout out. Thank y'all.
Much love to y'all. And for everyone watching, thanks again. The Platform Sports Talk Show goes down every Wednesday and occasionally on Thursdays. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny, because your boy ain't here. Speaking of, send a smoke signal. I thought he said he'll be right back. That store run took a hell of a time to get to the store back.
Hey, I don't know what to say. Stan, just be safe out there.
Smoke signal. You alive, bro? What's up?
And
he was talking about me so much at the beginning of the show. I'm taking his lines and stuff. Now he ain't here.
Right.
You can take all the lines.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm keeping it moving. Exactly.
And we have a special guest. I'll try to see if he was ready for it. He ain't ready for it. We got special guest Kerry Davis, coach, on the show. Oh, wait a minute.
Where'd he go?
Oh, he dropped out. Hold on real quick. That's what happened. That's why he wasn't queued up. He took himself off for a second. Okay, there you go. He's back.
He back, coach? Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
What happened?
All right.
Technical difficulty. Just okay. The shit.
If my Wi-Fi acting like that, please let me know.
I still, honestly though, Nelly's wasn't as bad. Teddy Riley was the worst to me.
Yeah.
Still, that versus battle was hilarious.
It was.
All right. So continuing on, tell us about playing with Mike Vick.
I mean, Mike is probably one of the best athletes I've ever seen in person. I mean, just ability to make things happen. And he honestly, he probably throws the ball harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like it's coming to you, and you better be ready to catch it, because it's zooming in there. Just great arm talent, great athlete, man. He was one of them guys that you wanted to see what was going to happen, because you knew something special was going to happen, when he got the ball in his hands.
Going back to Peyton Manning real quick, do you feel that the same success Tony Romo has as a broadcaster that Peyton will do the same?
You know what's crazy? I mean, Tony Romo is very, very knowledgeable, and he understands football very well. I don't know if I mean, what Tony does is, you know, calling out the plays before they happen is risky, but he does a good job at it. It always seems to be right, which either he's studying a whole hell of a lot of film or he just really knows what is going on. But I do think Peyton would be really good at it. I mean, he sees the game in a different way than most people do, and his ability to get people in places that they need to be in and understand what different coverages our defense are trying to do. I think he'd be really good at it.
So how did you end up going to Pittsburgh?
So after Atlanta, Indianapolis, I went to Tampa, and I was leading preseason rusher in Tampa. I thought I was going to make that team. Tampa, they told us, if you don't hear from us by 4:30, you made the team. So at 2 o'clock, I went to the mall, and I was just walking around for 2 hours. 4:30 hit, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm good. And then 4:45 hit, and they said, bring your playbook in. And I'm like, y'all lied to me.
Oh.
For 15 minutes, I thought I was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But after that, I mean, like I said, I did really, really well in the preseason that year. That was 2006. So by me doing really well in the preseason, I ended up in Pittsburgh. And I was still playing tailback at the time. And in 2007, they moved me to the starting fullback. And that's where I was for the next 3 years.
Enlighten me, because I'm not sure how the process works. So when you go from team to team, is it your agent trying to put the fillers out to teams that you're available, or you doing it too, or yeah?
A little bit of both. It depends.
Okay.
But mainly your agent, you know, checking the what they call the waiver wire, seeing who's being hurt, who's being released, seeing who needs what at what position, and he puts in phone calls. And you know, if you got a good agent that has relationships with those teams, they can they can help you. So he did. My agent at the time was able to put some phone calls in, and like I said, I still did the work in order to put myself in that position. Like, called me and told me, hey, Pittsburgh signing you, get your stuff and you'll be on a plane in the morning. So you know that's what it was. You got to be ready to go, and be ready to play when the opportunity is presented.
So when you got the notice that you on Steelers roster, the tailback, you said, right? You start off as tailback?
Yeah, then they moved me to fullback, yep.
What was your reaction or thought process being switched positions? They're not similar, but they are.
Well, it's a whole lot more blocking in fullback than it is playing tailback. But they told me, you know, you could either fight for the second string or third string tailback spot, or you could be the starting fullback. I'm like, well, that's not a tough question. I'll start, and I'll get my opportunities when they come. You know, and I played both my entire life, so it wasn't like I had been a tailback carrying the ball 30 times a game and never had to block. So you know, I was fine with it. It wasn't a big deal to me to be able to go and play fullback, especially if I was going to be able to start and get an opportunity to play.
And Coach, fill in the blank for me. Fullback position, the fullback position in the NFL right now is
dead, absent, missing,
like big man in basketball, that position.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, not like it was in the 90s or 2000s. You got a lot of teams that use tight ends in that position, in that role. You have some teams that go 3-4 wide and have no need for a fullback. So it just kind of depends on you know, each team, each program, what they want to do. But for right now, and especially mainly in the NFL, it's not that many fullback positions there.
So Pittsburgh Steelers is a iconic iconic franchise, and you had the pleasure of being there. And at that time, Mike Tomlin was the head coach. I felt like the Steelers are like the NFL version of the San Antonio Spurs. Do you agree with that?
Nah.
You're looking at it a coach. He's looking at it a coaching perspective and how they win.
The reason why I disagree is because the Spurs, even though they, I know where you're going because the consistency, the winning, but the Spurs are kind of under the radar, and I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers are under the radar type of team. I think, there are some similarities as far as like the blue collar, I guess, mentality, the hard work, but I think people always, as great as the Spurs were, they always kind of underrated them for whatever reason. And Pittsburgh, we didn't have that problem. We always got teams' best shot, and people, we were the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you said. It's a few franchises in the NFL that you can see the colors and you know exactly who it is, and you know the names that go with it. So we were definitely one of those franchises.
Tell us about playing for Mike Tomlin.
Oh man, Mike T is really cool. I mean, he wasn't when he first got there. I thought he was gonna try to kill us. I mean, this is this is before they had the new collective bargaining agreement where you don't get to wear pads as many days. But we were in full pads, literally through the playoffs. Like normally you take pads off, week 8, but we were in full pads in the wild card game in practice for the playoffs that year. And it was just really a kind of a mentality type of deal, guys having to work and continue to go forward and not retreating. And I think Mike T has done a great job, his entire time in Pittsburgh of getting those guys prepared to work every single week and, not making no excuses. Don't matter what time you play, where you play, when you play, who you play. It's about us making sure we ready and everything else will take care of itself.
And then to have the opportunity to not only go to a Super Bowl, but actually win. Just from your perspective, just tell us all the emotions, all the feels of that game itself, how Kurt Warner kept coming back with it and gave people hope like, wait a minute, Arizona might win this game. Then I know going to halftime, I believe that was a James Harrison play. And then, of course, Santonio Holmes made an incredible play. So just tell everybody about just being in a Super Bowl, first off, the emotions of playing it, and then, of course, realizing that you are a Super Bowl champion.
It was, just being there in that environment, that's something you think about as a kid, something you dream about as a kid. To even get to that point, like I said, as a rookie, I got to the NFC Championship game, so one game away from the Super Bowl. So I knew what that feeling felt like, but to be actually in the game was something that was, completely different. And it was, for me, it was just exciting. You have your times where there's nervousness, but at the end of the day, it's just football, and everybody else probably thinks about all of the cameras and the people watching, but we out there with the same number of people on the field, same number of refs. Football is the same size. Ain't nothing changed inside those lines. So being able to take care of your business and go out there and get the win was what we were headed for and what we needed to do. And they said that game it had a bunch of back and forth, man. It was James scored that touchdown before halftime. And then I think we went and scored, and then Larry Fitzgerald took like an 80-yarder to the crib, and now we down.
Right.
Again. And then Santonio came, Tone made the touchdown in the end zone. It was just it was a great feeling. But for me, it was even more it probably felt more special because we were playing in Tampa, and Tampa actually is a team that cut me 2 times.
Ooh.
So to win that Super Bowl in Tampa, in the stadium, like I said, I led the preseason in rushing that year. I was 4:45 waiting on the phone, didn't expect the phone call, thought I made the team. To win that Super Bowl in Tampa, for me, it was something that I cried like a baby. I couldn't even get myself together for a little bit because it was extremely special.
Man, that's beautiful. And then, that when that clock was going down, realizing that y'all, was about to win. Man, like you said, just the emotion just had to just overflow.
Yeah. I mean, like we got the ball back. After Tone scored, they had another drive, and then we stopped them. I think Woodley got a sack, and they fumbled, and we got the ball back. And all we had to take was a couple of knees. And so I'm running out there, because starting offense out on the field, take these knees, and we can go home and get this win. And I just was, one of my teammates, Willie Colon, had to grab me like, come on, man, we got to finish this, because I was like, we did this. We did this. So it was, like I said, it was just a special moment to be a part of that, have your family there, watching. It was a great time.
How many new cousins came out of the woodwork doing that?
That happened once you start playing. That don't happen once you I was well.
You make a roster.
Yeah.
You start making a roster. That's when it's like, yeah.
People call like, who? What? I don't. Nah. If you don't know my mama number, don't call. Don't worry about it.
That's crazy.
What was one of the first things that you did when you got your first NFL paycheck?
My first NFL paycheck was my signing bonus, and my signing bonus was $2,500. So
that was so nice of them to give you that.
Right, you hear me?
That was so nice. How much of y'all work the franchise or the organization? And I got this.
So I undrafted. I had a friend who was undrafted as well. His was significantly greater than mine. I ain't do nothing, man. I went and cashed my check. I wanted to make sure I had that money in my pocket. That's what I did. I don't know how long, I don't know what y'all finna do, but let me go and cash my check and make sure I get money. So I didn't have no really big purchases to begin with, because I was I was just trying to make sure I stayed in.
I get you.
Yeah.
So.
And what was the first thing that you bought for your mom?
My mom has never really been real materialistic. I mean, I've probably given her money throughout, my entire career. Not probably, I have. But I ain't purchased like I said, I was undrafted, brother. I'm trying to scratch and claw. I ain't have no 30 million guaranteed or nothing like that. So
right.
I was trying to.
This lifetime, maybe the next one. So let me ask you this: what was the first after you stopped playing NFL? What was the first thing you did career-wise after that?
I actually went to LA and started acting.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
LA, started acting, singing a little bit, and did some commercials. Did independent film, some print ad stuff. I was out there for about a year, and that's what I was doing.
Okay.
All right. Out there trying to be like The Rock and them.
Hey, I mean, you can do that forever.
Right.
I see.
So, speaking of The Rock, of course, he had his TV show on HBO, Ballers. Did Ballers really depict life in the NFL?
I watched maybe a couple of the episodes. One of my friends, former teammates, my brother Rashard Mendenhall, was actually a writer.
Right.
Oh, really? I didn't know you were one of the writers. Okay.
I think whenever you watching, if you're a doctor and you watch doctor shows, you probably find something wrong. Or you're a police officer, you watch police shows, you probably find things that are inaccurate. I can say the same thing when I watch football shows. It's things that are extremely inaccurate at times. Some things may be true.
Do they over dramatize some stuff too? Because I know you have to sell people to watch it and keep tuning in. So
at times, I think made for TV. It's not like that every single day. I can guarantee you that.
Okay.
So you brought up.
You want to be a writer on the show or a football show, or even basketball? So that's your love too.
I didn't say it again.
You ever want to be a writer for a football show or even basketball?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would. I'm working on a few things right
now. Oh, okay.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, buddy.
I know, right? I wasn't trying to let the cat out the bag. I didn't even know the cat was in the bag. So.
Breaking news on the Platform Sports Talk show.
It's working.
So,
Work in progress. Work in progress. Okay.
so you said that after football you got into acting. What led you to get into being on the radio, especially going to 101 ESPN?
I did. So when I was playing, I did a lot of. The people in Pittsburgh, the media relation guy, they always wanted me to do things. He would tell me, Kerry, you're gonna be in media when you get done. I'm like, I ain't gonna do all that. But whenever things would come up, for players to do different TV shows or different segments where we were interviewing folks, they would always ask me. So when I came home, I was in LA for like a year, and I came home and I went to LA because I didn't watch football for about a year when I got done playing. I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. But I didn't know what I was going to do, but I saw a job listing for a board operator at 101 ESPN, and I applied for it. And I had never in my life done an interview. Like, I was 31 at the time, never done an interview, didn't know what to expect, had no clue how an interview process would go. So I'm on Googling, what are you wearing for an interview? What are the questions they're going to ask you? So I went in for my interview, and the guy asked me, first thing he asked me, like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, what? That wasn't at all on any of the questions that I saw. didn't see that question. I saw a bunch of other things, but that wasn't one of them. But he's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you applying for this job? And I'm like, well, because the job was no experience needed, high school diploma required. You don't have to know nothing. We'll teach you everything. And so when I sent my resume, he was like, why are you applying for this? I was like, because I figure if I get in the building, eventually y'all will put me on the radio. He's like, so you want to be on the radio? I'm like, yeah. He said, well, how about we put you on the Rams post game this Sunday? Okay. Wow. All right. So he said, I couldn't believe, he saw my resume and saw all of the things that I did. And he said he was just impressed that I was willing to work at a position that didn't get nothing, no glory, no gratification, just kind of work my way up. And he said that in itself showed that I could do something on the radio. So I did that. And, I was able to hold that position for 3 years to the Rams. They never asked Mike and I not to come back, but they never asked us to come back. So,
So you're saying they didn't do a Jodeci and say stay?
They did not.
Not at all.
They did not.
Not even a clue. Not even don't call us. We'll call you. Not even that.
Not even that. I just never heard nothing again. I'm like, I guess we ain't doing radio this year. Okay. That's what they're doing the post game.
So the good thing was that you was doing Rams radio post game. The bad thing was that you was doing Rams radio post game.
Say that again.
Man, for a former player, how could you stomach watching that game?
I couldn't. We would sit there, and then it would be some long nights because, sometimes they'll be playing on the West Coast, and they got the late game.
Right.
Sometimes they playing, I don't know if they played many Sunday nights or Monday nights, but it would be brutal sometimes, man. Like, it would be really, really bad, and you're not getting home till 1, 2 in the morning. After talking about bad football. So, but I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't change it because it was an experience that, allowed me to go through that and be a part of it. So, it's something that I can write down and say that I was able to do.
When you got to 101 ESPN, who were some of the guys on it from that station that you was, picking their brains or got a lot of advice from?
Oh man, Bernie and Randy, or Bernie Miklasz and Randy Carricker, those two guys are as knowledgeable as they come in sports, and especially St. Louis sports. Just listening to them, picking up on tidbit of information that they have, things that they say, just paying attention to him. I when I first met Bernie, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if he wants people to talk to him. But he couldn't have been nicer, man. He was one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet, and always helpful and willing to give advice and things of that nature. So it was those two guys definitely helped as much as possible.
And then for you to have the opportunity to fill in on all the shows, Bernie, to back then, The Turn.
Yeah.
We had Kevin Wheeler on a few months ago, right. And of course the Fast Lane.
Right.
Matter of fact, we've had Kevin Wheeler on. We've had Austin Huff.
Okay.
And we've had Anthony Stalter so far from the 101 ESPN on the show.
Anthony is my brother from another mother.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just tell us.
I will say, I like listening to the afternoon show. Sometimes I remember you be a guest on there.
Yeah.
And thinking about all the time I work, I would go in my car, my lunch break to get away.
Yeah.
Man, it's what I need to hear, talk sports. I couldn't talk sports with my coworkers, which was crazy. For the guys I worked in the building with, they didn't watch shit like that. I thought that was so weird. So I had to listen to the radio and have a conversation with myself and listen to you all.
Yeah, and I thought you had a lot of great energy that you brought to the show. Something that I loved was like, how Kevin Wheeler's show, he always had rock, hard, heavy metal,
Yeah.
Then when you and Michael Young would take over, along with Austin Huff, I believe.
Yeah.
Y'all had the hip hop going.
Oh yeah, we're gonna come back with some different.
We appreciate that too. We never got no hip hop love unless y'all was on there.
We're gonna come back with something we want to listen to. So it's definitely different. I mean, Mike and I had a great time. I always have a great time doing the radio. He's great at it as well. I mean, he does a great job doing it as well. So hopefully, maybe one day we'll get back out there and get our voices heard back out there on the radio.
Was there a time that y'all may have had an opportunity, you and Michael Young, to maybe have your own show?
I had an opportunity to be on one of the shows full time, and I
really,
I couldn't do it just because of some other obligations. But yeah, I did have an opportunity to do it. Like I said, if the opportunity presents itself again, maybe the circumstances will be a little bit different this time around.
Okay.
And
well, you can speak it into existence for him now, Smooth. So when it happens, you be like, "See, you told him." Right.
Well, hey, just so you know, Kerry, this show right here, we got you. Holler at us.
I appreciate it.
We got you, bro.
Just saying.
We got you.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget about us small folks. We're just trying to be here supporting our brothers.
Y'all get together.
Yeah. So one of the darkest times of 101 ESPN last year, of course, was the passing of Chris Duncan. So when you heard about him passing away, what were your thoughts? 'Cause I know you probably did a few shows with him as well.
Yeah, Dunk was just a great dude, man. Dunk was he's like a tough guy, like a good tough guy though, like a guy that gonna work his butt off, give everything he got, and always tell it like it is. So by him and his mental, his mentality and the strength that I know that he has, I just knew for sure he was gonna beat it. And it was unfortunate, when he passed. And I reached out to him a few times, while he was going through it, just telling him, man, I'm checking on you, care about you, love you, And like I said, Dunk is a guy that if you were in his presence, he's an athlete, man. He's a tough nose, grind. We kind of had that same type of mentality, grind it out. May not always be the most talented guy in the room, but we're gonna work our butt off to make sure that we are a vital part of any team that we're on. And I think we both had that in common. And like I said, just losing him was a tough thing because he's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely is, man. Rest in peace to him. So, during the time you were on 101 ESPN, then you heard the breaking news, like, oh, he got him a head coaching job at his alma mater, Hazelwood Central. So, how did that go down?
Well, the coach that was there prior to me took another job at another school, and there was a search. They interviewed a few people. I had told, I don't know if I told him that. I think I told Head I was probably interested. So he passed along the message. And I went in for the interview, and the rest is, I guess, as they say, history.
It's history.
I did well, got the position, and now I am the head coach. But yeah, it was once I heard about the position opening, I was thinking to myself, that might be a good spot for me. And we got a lot of talent at Hazelwood Central, always have. And our goal is to just make sure kids are prepared for life through football, and you do that, you'll be okay in your everyday walk.
So I take it that was your first head coaching position. Did you do any prior coaching?
Well, I was coaching. So I was coaching. I coached at Francis Howell North in 2013, and then Hazelwood West in 2014. And then I started doing radio. I was doing radio for University of Illinois.
Really?
Sideline reporter for 3 years, from 15, 16, and 17. So I didn't have opportunity to coach in those 3 years because I was doing the radio with them. And then, like I said, once the opportunity to go back to Hazelwood Central was presented, I took it, and I had to stop doing the radio for Illinois because obviously I couldn't do the weekends, driving up there, flying out to where we were playing at, and coach high school. So I'm a full-time high school coach at this point, and trying to get young men prepared for life after high school, whether it be college or some type of trade or in the military, whatever it may be. Get them prepared for what life is going to look like.
So, speaking of that, do you have any session, whether at practice or just another day, where you set aside to not go over the X and O's, but to talk about life after y'all graduate, or bring speakers in and give them options?
Oh, we definitely do a lot of talking about life. I mean, even if it's in the middle of maybe not in the middle of practice, but maybe when we got a lull or a period where we don't have anything to do, if we in the meeting rooms, we talk about everything and try to make sure that, like I said, those young men understand, life is going to hit you fast. Yeah, y'all 17, some of y'all about to be 18, some of y'all about to be out of your mama's houses, some of y'all mama's going to wish y'all was out of their houses. So you got to start preparing yourself, as a freshman, as a sophomore, for what life is going to look like when it's time to get on and get going into the next phase of your life. So we definitely talk about those things often.
I want to provide an update for those who are interested. The Cardinals are currently up 5-2. Dexter Fowler just had a RBI double, and it is currently once again 5-2 in the. Let me make sure. Here we go. Top of the 6th inning. No outs, and a man at third and second base with Harrison Bader up to bat. So keep it up, Cardinals. Let's go. Continuing on with the coach. What was it that led you into getting into coaching overall?
Just an opportunity to help young men. Like I said, I was fortunate to have great coaches in my life that had a lasting impact on me becoming a man. And I felt like that's what, we got our team is about 100% black at this point. 100% young black men, try to help them and provide, some of them, everybody's family situation is different. So, where we can be involved and help them, not just in football, but in life. That was really the one thing that made me want to get into coaching.
Okay, it's a way of giving back, helping the next generation. We appreciate you doing it.
So, as a evaluator, you deciding what guy you want on your team, what guy you couldn't, unfortunately, because it happened, it's life. What are you looking for as a evaluator for your team?
We like kids that do what they ask to do, and pay attention and work hard. all of those things are things you can control. You can't control if you're gonna be 6'3", 220 pounds. You can't control if some people, God bless them with that. Others they didn't. But what can you control, and how hard are you willing to work to get the things that you say you want? Those are the things that we really try to focus on. Obviously grades are a major factor, because if you don't do your schoolwork, you talking about going to the NFL, you might as well cancel that idea right now. You're not going to make it to college. So making sure they do what they need to do in the classroom, and making sure that they do what they need to do every single day, being good young men in school, not being disrespectful, not talking crazy to adults or to young women or to each other. All of those things really, really go into building a team and making sure that we on the right track and on the right path. And I don't tell no lies. We're gonna play the people that play the best. So if you are not doing what you need to do, or sometimes it's somebody that's just better than you, and that's in every field you go in, you're gonna have to interview for a position. And if you're not the best one, you're not gonna get the job. So we're gonna make sure that you're working for what you get. You're not gonna be handed nothing. You're gonna have to work for it, and you got to earn it. And you may have to beat somebody out that may be as talented or more talented than you, and see how you fare in that fight, in that bout.
As a youngster, who was your favorite football player? And then as a coach, who was your coaching influence, or someone that you modeled your coaching afterwards? As
a football player, man, Deion Sanders was my guy.
Prime time.
Deion out there, doing his step on them people. That was my guy. I really enjoyed everything that he brought to the game. Just as an athlete, I thought he was, spectacular. But I really, there's a whole bunch of running backs that when I got to college in my freshman year, I put all these pictures up on my wall for different running backs that I really enjoyed and I liked, and wanted to be some part of my game to be like their game. So, it was Marshall Faulk and Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders and Walter Payton, all of these guys that I really thought that their games were special. I kind of modeled my game after them. And then as far as coaching, I said I've had a lot of coaches, but as far as my football coaches, like my running back coach, Coach Helms in Illinois, my running back coach, Kirby Wilson in Pittsburgh, my head coach, Ron Turner at Illinois, and Mike Tomlin, head coach in Pittsburgh. Those people really, really had an impact on how I look at football from a coaching perspective.
What are your thoughts on the direction Illinois is headed now?
Man, I'm excited, man. They went to a bowl game last year, I
said shout out to Lovie Smith for turning that program around.
I think Lovie is on the right track, man. I think they're gonna get this thing rolling, and with Illinois, we always are capable of having, a good year here, a good year there, but the sustainability of doing it year in and year out is what I want to see our program do, and be able to do it over and over and over again, which is not easy. So,
especially in college, because y'all always got players coming in and out all the time, people graduating stuff. So yeah. I think Lovey's doing a good job from what I've seen so far. I heard when he was an NFL coach, he was a hell of a coach then, too.
Yeah, he's done a great job everywhere he's been. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this season look like. I think they start on the 24th. So I'll be somewhere watching.
At least this is one time, it's a football season, and that you are coaching at the same time that you actually have time to go watch the college game. Usually you'd be coaching yourself, so.
Yep. I can sit down and watch. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go watch. I don't know if they're going to have people in the stadiums.
Everybody different. Because, Mizzou had their game on Saturday, and they had, I think, 10,000, 11,000 people they allowed.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can make it up to a game, man, if they allow that.
So tell everybody about your team? When an opponent is coming to your place or you going to theirs, what should they expect from a coach-led team like yours?
Man, like I said, we gonna fight. we gotta do our job better than the opponent does, and really just I don't like excuses. So we ain't gonna make no excuses. We gonna do the job. If we don't get it done, we gonna dust ourselves off, get back up, and go to the next play, or go to the next game. So our goal is to be, fundamentally sound, man. Do our job better than the next man. Limit the number of penalties, and really, man, just fly around and hit people. If you do that, you hit harder than the other team more times than not, you're gonna be successful. So. And that go on offense, defense, and special teams. It don't just have to be on defense hitting people. You can be on offense hitting the hell out of people too. So just physical and enjoy the process of playing the game of football and understanding. And one thing I keep harping on these kids is it could be taken away from you at any moment, just like it has been this year so far. You don't want to be out there not giving everything you got, thinking, oh, I got another play. Or I got another year, or I got another game. You don't know that. So, give everything you got every time you step on that field and, leave it without no regrets.
Did you feel when you arrived at Hazelwood Central, I'm pretty sure the kids knew, oh, man, we got a Super Bowl champion, guy who's been in the radio and whatever. Do you feel that they may have been intimidated by your presence initially when you stepped foot to Hazelwood Central?
Nah, I honestly, it's crazy because kids different now, man. Like I said, they look different. I had one of my coaches asked me, he said, man, when we first got there, he said, man, why they don't listen to you? And you did everything they say they want to do. I said, because they don't really want to do it. And, it's easy to talk about it. It's a whole different thing to actually get out there and do it and show it. So, I think for me, just making sure that these kids understand, you can't tell me you want to play in the NFL because I'm going to make you prove that to me. And because I know exactly what it requires to do that. So if you tell me you want to play in the NFL, I'm going to hold you to that standard. And now you're going to have to work harder than you probably ever even thought you was going to have to work. But this is what you said you wanted. So, I just, and every one of them kids said that that's what they want. So if that's what you want, we're gonna see how bad you want it and how hard you're willing to work and what you're willing to put yourself through, to get there. This is, I'm hurting right now sitting here. it sounds good. My shoulder is killing me in this moment right now. So, everybody think that that's what they want to do until they realize how much work is required to actually do it.
But you probably one of the few people that actually will challenge us to think about these are teenagers. And from teenagers I know and see grow up, a lot of times they don't get pushed to that limit. Like you said, they talk a good game, and it's easy to talk a good game behind your phone and all this other stuff, but in person and putting that physical work in, let me see it. And a lot of them
show it.
don't not do it.
You can't just tell me, oh, I want to do this. Well, you know what? Your grades don't show that. You don't want to play in the Big Ten. You don't want to play in the SEC. You don't want to play. You want to go, the kids call it the crib U. That's what they know. Because your grades ain't showing. Coach, I want to do this. Why you ain't in the weight room working as hard as you can? It's
the work ethic.
It's things that require that come with the things that you say you want to do. So I know you mean it when you start doing those other things.
Mm-hmm. I think it's process a generational thing. Like I said, work ethic. It's basic stuff. And I'm like, if you not doing this or don't know how to do this, and it's like, well, how are you going to get this for? How you tell me? I do community service a lot. So if I'm over here giving my time to raise scholarships, asking people to give money, and you sitting here can't even send me grades. You can't even sit and tell me a reason why somebody who don't know you should write a check to get your education. You get simple stuff. It's like, why you ain't putting effort in, but you want me to put the effort in?
Yep.
What?
It's definitely.
I could have stood up for my time. Look, I have gotten what I needed to get in life. You trying to get there.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Don't tell me about it. Show me.
Exactly.
And you brought up Deion Sanders earlier. Him going to Jackson State. How big is it for HBCUs for him to make that move?
I think that is. I think that's awesome. I mean, I got a coach on my staff that went to Jackson State, so
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
They say the Jackson State, the JSU. Yeah.
I definitely. I mean, it could be a game changer for, and maybe it will be. Maybe it will be a chance for these HBCUs to get some of these kids. And I mean, back in the 70s and 80s when black folks wasn't allowed to go to some of them other schools, 60s, 70s, it was the HBCUs that put out a bunch of talent and a whole lot of talent. So, maybe it gets back to that point if some of them kids start deciding that that's where they want to go.
Yeah, I really do hope so, because I've been saying this a few times on the show. It seems like black people all of a sudden relevant in a lot of corporate America, and people want to give dollars to black people. We've been here. Our schools, HBCUs have been here. Y'all just all of a sudden feeling, oh, let me go try to see what I can do. We've been asking to get help and give us a seat at the table to give equal funding. I mean, I guess I said a lot of community service because I have a passion for education and have these young people to get opportunities that I was afforded, but at the same time, some of them don't put the work in. But I'm just like, well, HBCUs, if it wasn't for them, it would be so many athletes that wouldn't even get opportunity to play a sport, let alone thrive and go to the next level. So I just hope, even without Deion being there, when you heard about those basketball recruits and people, Steph Curry gave to get Howard University's golf team going again, it's like, hey, we've been here. Just thank you for acknowledging us, but I hope the game changer is that to get the exposure, which you will be found no matter what sport you play. If you're good, they're going to find you. But to also get the exposure as far as that money, that the TV revenues will get these D1 schools, what they get. We just trying to get a half a share. We know ain't nothing fair, but half a share of what they get.
Being able to build those facilities definitely helps recruit those kids and get them in there. And you got things updated. It's definitely more beneficial for the recruiting process.
Big time. But, we got to have equal dollars or some dollars. And even with the alumni that are famous or they got money, it's still just not enough circulating. And especially it's over 100 HBCUs out there. So it's a lot of the pie that got to get flipped and people to give money here and there. So we shall see.
And how gratifying is it for you to be able to see your kids getting recruited by big time schools or in even smaller schools and then graduating, moving on to big and better things, whether it's outside of football or it is going to a big time school or university?
That's probably my favorite part of it, watching the kids, go through the recruiting process, deciding what school they want to go to, and really having the opportunity to get out of St. Louis if it's, and go to a different place and see different things. I think that's, even I went to Illinois, which was 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away, but it was vastly different from St. Louis. It was a bunch of Chicago people. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be extremely far away, but, get out of the city and get on a college campus and be around people that are different or think differently than you do. I think that's the best part of it for me, and just to see how excited they are, going through that whole process, meeting the coaches, and getting recruited and deciding where they want to go to school and what they want to major in, and really start to set themselves up for what their life will look like going forward.
And we've asked this to other coaches as well, especially in the local area. We know that we're living in a time, now the pandemic, but we're living in a time of peer pressure, social media, etc. How is it for you to coach this generation of kids now?
I said I'm brutally honest. I don't really pull no punches. I'm not the person. If you want to know the truth about yourself, I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna down you or talk bad to you, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I think a lot of times these kids are coddled, but it's just a different time, like you said, and as much as I love social media, I think it's a great avenue to allow people to do different things. It also is a hindrance to a lot of these kids, and I tell them all the time, y'all think because y'all see somebody on Twitter or Instagram successful, y'all think people don't fail. Mm-hmm. Y'all really don't believe, because nobody posts their failures on social media. They only post their wins. Oh, I made this. I got the bag. I got this. I got that. But they don't tell you that, man, I was starving for 4 days before I got this. Mm-hmm. I was sleeping in my car for 3 months before, I worked my butt off to get this opportunity. They don't tell you that. So I think that's one of the things that I always try to let these kids know is, man, there is no such thing as I just woke up and now I'm here. It's a bunch of work that's applied prior to getting here. And like I said, when they looking at social media, you see people doing a whole bunch of different things, and they just popped up overnight. But like I said, they're not going to tell you when they didn't have no food to eat in the house, and they couldn't barely sleep because their stomach was hurting so bad. So, just understanding that whatever you say you want, you're going to have to work for it. And if they understand that part of it, they'll be okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's great, man. And it's important for these kids to hear that message, because I was saying this a while back to a prior guest, that it feels like this generation is kind of spoiled. They come from a certain background in which they've always been so successful, so they feel like no matter where they go, they're going to always have this I'm the man, I'm the woman mentality. And they need to go through adversity. They need to go through, the hardships. That's just, how I feel this generation of kids have been recently. What your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said, they don't see it, though. So in their eyes, nobody struggles. And you got to think about it. We grew up, well, I speak for me, I grew up on the TV. So you see on TV, you think all of that is real. Well, these kids are growing up on their phones and on Instagram and Snapchat, and that's what they think is real life. So, of course, they don't think they got to work hard, because buddy on Instagram or buddy on YouTube, who is a YouTuber making X amount of dollars, he don't do no work. But like I said, you don't understand, or they don't understand what it took for that person to get to that point. Now, every now and then, yeah, you will find somebody that popped up overnight and became what they call an overnight success. Mm-hmm. But most of them folks got to grind and get to it in order to be successful. I think as long as they understand that or begin to understand that, they won't be so frustrated with where they are in life at that moment. Because all it is they want to get to it so badly, but they're not willing to put in the work that's required to get there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, what are your thoughts? Last question for me. What are your thoughts on the state of high school football in the St. Louis area?
Oh, man, I love it. I got a lot of guys that I grew up with, a lot of guys that I played with, that I played against, that are coaching, that are head coaches. You talked about St. Louis County earlier, just the kids that look like us are being led by men that look like us. So I think that's extremely important for those young men to see people doing things positive and being successful in their lives and not having to do negative things. Give them something to look forward to and something to strive to be themselves. So I'm definitely excited about everything as far as, youth football, high school football, middle school football. All these young men and all these great men that are coaching them is fun for me to see.
Nice. Well, we definitely.
Good question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, just to wrap it up. Quick question. If I hopped in your car right now, turn on the radio, what would be playing?
Man, I'd probably be playing some Wale. I'm still rocking that Wale.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rolling with that right now for whatever. It's been Nipsey for like the last year.
Nipsey Hussle.
I still give Nipsey some spins. He'll still get some play, but it's Wale. I was listening to some J. Cole and Big Crit earlier today.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't even know none of them young boys that I can. I don't
same
even
here.
Their names up.
Same here, and I'm a DJ, and I'm saying I don't know who these cats are. I don't know.
I can't. My daughter she'll ride with me and she want to listen to. I'm like, what are we listening to?
Is it even English? Half the rappers now. I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Like muck mouth. Like what the hell?
It's a yuck mouth.
Anyway.
That's what I'm listening to. I'm sure.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So, let's get into and speaking of which, Wale, Stan loves Wale. He's a huge Wale fan.
I went to see Wale perform in Kansas City.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, in February. I went by myself. I just rolled up. I had to go. Like I really rock with Wale. I think dude is really dope, and I think this is probably his best album that he's put out. And I hope he gets nominated for a Grammy because he definitely deserves it.
Nice. So, let's stick on to the subject of football, Coach, and we had some games over this past week. Last Thursday, Miami beat Jacksonville. Then we had the Bears beating the Hawks, beating the Falcons. Falcons 2 weeks in a row, Coach. They had a big time lead, and just like in the Super Bowl, they lost it. Is it time for Dan Quinn to go?
I don't know if it's time for him to go, but I do think that because of how the business is run, it's a what have you done for me lately business. And, sometimes people get the short end of the stick even when they don't deserve it. And I'm not saying that he don't deserve it. I don't put that loss against Dallas solely on him. And then I played on the front line on kickoff return on Hans' team. And you are taught not to touch the ball if it don't go 10 yards because it's not going to affect you. And I watched that play probably a dozen times, maybe more. I have never seen a ball kicked like that on an onside kick. I have never seen a ball spin like that on an onside kick. So I don't blame him or those men or the special teams coach for that. I give all the credit to the Dallas Cowboys for the way that they kicked it, for the way that they executed it, because you've never seen it done that way. And it was the first time ever. So as a frontline guy, you not going to touch that ball if it ain't going 10 yards. And once they realized, oh, hell, this ball's still spinning, it's going to go 10 yards, it was too late. And Dallas was on top of it. So that loss, I don't really know. I wouldn't blame that on him. And then the loss last week, your defense gonna have to show up, brother. You giving up, your offense putting up a whole lot of points, and your defense is not keeping you in it. So
it's like comparing the Doc Rivers thing. I started off the show talking about his coaching resume. Yeah. Your teams have shown in the past they've gone up in playoff games and end up losing the whole series.
Yeah.
You can say, this win or loss this loss ain't on you, this one, but we talk about Super Bowl, and we passed the Super Bowl now, and we still talking about this issue?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if he's going to keep that job much longer. And I don't know that he deserved to get fired, but I don't know that he don't. It's a what have you done for me lately business. And if you ain't producing, you're not going to keep coaching or playing. That is a guarantee.
Look, we know a change needs to be happening. You may not know where as far as the management, but a change definitely needs to happen.
Something probably will happen, but it is what it is. I try not to talk about no man losing his job or nobody losing their job, but I do understand that it happens. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Then we had a controversial ending. The team that plays in LA, formerly here, I think Kerry,
right. Don't give them their full name.
Kerry may know about that team, but they it was a crucial pass interference call that cost them the game, literally cost them the game, and And
Listen.
they lost against Buffalo 35-32. Thoughts?
If you are a Los Angeles Rams fan,
Oh, he said the full name. Oh.
the audacity to complain about a pass interference
Right.
call, you should reevaluate yourself.
Right.
Y'all made it to the Super Bowl on a non-pass interference call. You don't have nothing like pass interference calls from this point on from Rams fans. You really shouldn't say, like, you should just, you know what, we did get that one. If you get pass interference call for the rest of the time, just accept it, man. It's life. Y'all got one.
Concerned and now they want to cry, but wait a minute.
Y'all got one, and it sent you to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Don't complain about a loss in week 3.
It just makes people feel better when they can start complaining when it ain't going that way.
They gonna have to complain, and not in my presence, because I'm gonna laugh.
You get no love.
No love, not an inch, not a quarter. He said nothing.
So I don't care if it was a pass interference or wasn't.
No sympathy from you.
None. Y'all made it to the Super Bowl on that call.
That's why they lost it though. And then, like we said in basketball, ball don't lie.
Yeah. But they got there.
You're not still mad at the organization, not the players, just the organization.
The Washington football team lost against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are now 2-1. Do you think the Browns are turned the corner, or are they still the Browns?
Uh-oh.
You got to look over. Listen, man, they the Browns. I am a Pittsburgh Steeler at heart. They are the Browns.
Say no more.
Browns go brown, man. Let them be.
They living up to their mascot name, being brown. Okay. Full of crap.
Let's see. Tennessee Titans, they beat the Vikings 31-30. The Raiders lost to Cam and the Patriots. Your thoughts on Cam Newton and the Patriots?
I think it's a good fit. I like him there. I like, I think Bill Belichick get a lot of, people talk bad about him, but Bill Belichick cares about winning and nothing else. And if you care about winning, then you will probably have success there. And I think Cam cares about winning, as does Bill Belichick, and that's what they're gonna do. And I think it's a great fit for those guys. And I think they're gonna continue to have success. I don't know if they'll win the division again, because Buffalo is playing really, really well. But New England been doing it in that division for such a long time. It may not be as hard as others think when it comes to that game against the Bills.
And I'm
sorry.
I have bad news. I got an update.
I just saw it too. I was flicking my head while you were talking because the damn Cardinals was giving up their lead.
Yep, Fernando Tatis Jr. just hit a 3-run bomb. So now the Cardinals are up just by one run.
One run, and it's the bottom of the 6th and no outs though.
So plenty of time. Plenty of time to, hopefully they don't come back, but it's plenty of time for them to come back.
They're already chopping away at it.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. So hold on, Cardinals.
Up to bet now. Wow.
Hold on, Cardinals. Gotta hold on. All right. So going back, San Fran destroyed the Giants 36-9. The Bengals at Philadelphia ended in the tie. Is Carson Wentz? Kerry, your thoughts on him? It seemed like he just kind of got downhill.
Don't say no comment. Don't say no comment.
I don't know. I think he don't look good.
No.
It don't look good. Not every week. I mean, but he's talented enough to get it done. I mean, he was, the front runner for the MVP a few years ago before he got hurt.
Right.
So I don't know if he's regressing in his ability. It's maybe, your body starts to hurt, ache, beat up a little bit more year after year. Maybe that's taking a hold of him. But I don't think it's ready. I don't think it's time to throw in the towel just yet. I think you give him a couple more games to let him kind of figure it out and see what he can do. And it ain't all on him. I mean, you got other players that's making money as well. Somebody else got to make a play at some point. So, other guys got jobs to do as well. So, when they all are clicking on the same page, it'll be pretty good. But right now, it's just not.
And a team that you may know a little bit of, Pittsburgh Steelers. They defeated Houston Texans 28-21. I believe Houston's what, 0-3? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Tough schedule for them so far. The Jets lost to the Colts. Phillip Rivers, I believe, 2-1.
That face was priceless. I can make a meme out of that one. Shoot, that was funny.
See, Carolina and the Chargers. Carolina won. What were your thoughts on that situation with the quarterback from the Chargers?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
My first thought was a lawsuit. That was my first thought. I mean, because it's obviously you got poked in the lung with a needle. B, if he don't never play again, and not because he can't play, but he was the starting quarterback. But if the guy Justin Herbert does a great job and he's not able to get, I mean, you potentially losing out on more money that you could have made had you been the starting quarterback for the Chargers. I don't know what his contract situation is, but the doctor put you in a position to not capitalize off of every single dollar you could have made, and it was an accident, but that don't matter. I mean,
right.
The
lawsuit.
And
Let's just hope he can perform again. It's kind of normal because we don't know if he'll bounce back.
Oh no! I'm sorry, everybody. Tie game.
Yeah, Manny Machado.
I told you. I said I didn't have Manny Machado up to bat, and I saw him swinging for the fences. I knew he was gonna have that damn bullpen.
Wow. And it all started by Henderson Cabrera walking two guys to start the inning.
It's only one out, and now it's tied.
Yep. They just scored 4 runs just like that.
And they ain't done a pitching change since the dude started giving up these runs. Shoot.
That's what I said earlier. It started out by Cabrera walking 2 guys. And then they put in, it's 2 Cabreras, I believe. You had Henderson Cabrera, and you got Gallegos. He came in, now gave up 2 runs. So, yeah, bad inning right here for the Cardinals. Bad inning.
I mean, and how long before we do a pitching change at this point? My God, what are y'all doing?
I don't know. They looking good, though. They got the momentum now. And
not looking good for the home team, literally.
And
oh, my God.
I believe yesterday you were saying, or was it today's show, you were saying how you had that lead, but a team like the Padres can storm back very, very quickly.
They're good. I mean, we knew coming in when we're doing our best for who's going to win the division. We was like, well, we know the Padres are, and they had to we know.
Yeah. All right, so going back to football, Buccaneers and the Broncos. Buccaneers won. Looks like Tom Brady's getting settled in. What are your thoughts about that, Kerry?
I mean, I think it's going to take time. And he ran the same offense for 20 years. So when you get to a new offense, the terminology is different. Most times the plays are the same, but the terminology may be different. And really understanding, as a quarterback, you got to understand your receivers are different, and understanding speed difference and how they come out of breaks and all of that. So I think it will take some time for him to get rolling how they want to. And I think because their defense seems to be playing lights out. But I think if they get rolling offensively and find a way to keep, Godwin and Mike Evans, seem like every other week one of them is hurt. They can keep them both healthy. They're going to be pretty good.
Detroit at Arizona. Detroit won by 3. Dallas at Seattle. That was an incredible game. And Russell Wilson. I mean, what more can you say about this dude?
Russ has been a special talent for a long time. And, oh, my God. Sorry.
It almost went over the wall.
I'm about to say again, that's Tommy Pham, though. Shout out to brother, because the Cardinals kind of played him.
They did.
Russell has been a great player for a long time, man. And to hear that he had never been even had a vote for first place for MVP was pretty amazing. But I think if he keeps playing this way, he'll be the MVP this year.
Oh yeah. And then you had Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at New Orleans, and that man, that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, keep on doing his thing.
He does. He is. It don't matter who's out there, man. He gonna find a way to make it happen, and get the ball to guys. And I mean, he that guy is pretty daggone special too, man. That boy is special. I think he's just watching him, the way he's able to flick the wrist and throw that ball as deep as he can is something special to watch. So I enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers play football.
Kerry, I needed you to be on the show back when we were doing our NFL picks for the beginning of the season, because I know we need to rewind the tapes. When I said Aaron Rodgers, people were sleeping on him for some reason, like he wasn't being thrown in the conversation of being really good this year. And Russell Wilson, because I picked the Seahawks to win the NFC conference. I mean, I was like, wow, why are people not talking about like these dudes just fell off or something? Like, they're been relevant. It's just, I don't know.
I think everybody thinks Tom Brady and the Bucs gonna win the NFC. And
Tom Brady got a lot of talk, and so did Dak Prescott. More on his contract and what the Cowboys is gonna do with him, but still, it's like y'all act like they're not phenomenal quarterbacks out here already. It's been climbing the last few years. They ain't overnight successes.
Dak been playing well too though. So I think we'll see what his contract look like at the end of the year.
You're gonna be franchised again.
And talking about the Monday Night Football game, because I said that Lamar was gonna do better, but I didn't have the Ravens doing it the whole way.
Man, hey, just like
I did. I still think he need to grow a little bit more.
Lamar Jackson, he admitted, KC, they are his kryptonite. He just cannot get going against that team. And the great Patrick Mahomes, not Pat Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes, came through and let everybody know, ain't no damn way he's the fourth rated player in football.
Not at all. I don't know. I don't know how somebody is. I don't know who they had above. Was it Aaron Donald, Lamar, and somebody else?
Yep. I forgot who. Oh no, it wasn't McCaffrey. I don't think. But yeah, it was crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Donald is his own entity. He's his own.
He a beast too, though.
He's like an alien or something. So
Yeah,
I would just off of him, the way he moved people around, I wouldn't bother him. But the other guys, I think Patrick Mahomes is like I said, is one of them guys you're gonna look at 10 years from now and really be surprised. Well, not even surprised, just amazed with how well he has done his entire career.
It was actually number 4. Patrick Mahomes, number 3, Aaron Donald, number 2, Russell Wilson, and number 1, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay.
That ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Lamar was the MVP. Russell is probably going to be the MVP this year if he keeps playing the way. And I said I would leave Aaron Donald alone at all costs.
Right.
I'm glad I got to see him play with that 1 year before St. Louis left. Cause he, dude, a beast.
I mean, dude be like throwing around like offensive linemen on the floor like they quarterbacks or whatever. It's just
like he's the Incredible Hulk and everybody else is little minions.
Yeah. It's definitely incredible. So tonight, of course, right now, Denver at the Jets. Then Sunday, you have a slew of games. Colts at the Bears. Jacksonville at the Bengals. Cleveland at Dallas. New Orleans at Detroit. Seattle at Miami. Chargers at the Buccaneers. Ravens at the Washington football team. Arizona at Carolina. Minnesota at Houston. Giants at the Rams. New England. Ooh, this game here. New England at the Chiefs. That should be a good one.
That'll be a good game.
That should be a good one.
Buffalo. May not be as good as we think it's going to be.
Don't press my hopes already now. I'm ready for some good football, on Sunday.
Patrick Mahomes, but it'll be entertaining to begin with, I think.
Then we have the Bills at Las Vegas Raiders. And then Sunday Night Football, Eagles at the 49ers. Of course, the Pittsburgh at Tennessee game got postponed. And then Monday Night Football, those terrible Falcons against that bad man, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. So
if the Falcons lose like they lost the last 2 weeks on Monday night, that might be it for him.
I don't think it's a might. Just say that
it's
is
one
it
thing
for
to
him.
lose the way they lost, but when you lose on national TV, televised game, the Monday night game or Sunday night game, if they lose in that way, it might be it.
that is it. Speaking of that is it. That's it for our show, Coach.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, it was definitely a pleasure having you on. If you don't mind, just stay on the Zoom after we go off the air. Have a little debrief real quick. But this has been a very fun show. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please share this stream. Give us a like. Give us a follow. A like on Twitter. Go on YouTube. Subscribe. Click on that.
Bell.
Because anytime we go live,
You will get notified.
Cardinals, please score some runs. Do not give the Padres any more hope. Thank you very much, Ms. Williams. She says it was a very fun show, so we definitely appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in, Ms. Williams, like always.
We got a triple by a Goldsmith already?
Don't say already.
No, a double. Okay, we got a double by Goldsmith.
Honestly, I would rule that an error because it went into his glove and then came out, but
Hey,
I'm not the
whatever it is, we'll take it. Exactly, we'll take it.
Right, well, we'll take it, but I wouldn't call it. I'll just get it. But anyway.
Oh, and I'm sure you heard earlier our conversation, but real quick, your thoughts on Doc Rivers going to the 76ers, and then your thoughts on Kyrie and what he said about clutch players and him finally having one in Kevin Durant.
The Kyrie situation, man. I try to stay away from the LeBron fans because that's almost like the Beehive talking about Beyonce. I don't really want no smoke with none of them folks. If Kyrie said it, then that's what he feels, then I'm gonna roll with what Kyrie said. As far as Doc Rivers going to Philly, I think that's gonna be an interesting thing. I think he got to figure out a way to get Joel and Ben playing together on the same page. And, what type of offense are they going to run? Who are they going to be offensively? And what they going to do.
Prove me wrong, because I just don't see him bringing it out to where they can go to the conference finals.
Joel is a special talent. So, if he can find a way to get Ben Simmons and them two on the same page, you might have something. Depending on what they do as far as role players and
coaching. Shoot, quit letting your offense go AWOL in the fourth quarter on your game, specifically in playoffs. That's how you situation you in now.
I can guarantee you he ain't take no shots. So he ain't take not one. And the ones that Paul and Kawhi took, they didn't make.
Right.
I don't think that's on Doc.
Well, I'll say this. Yes, he's not physically throwing up. Wait. He's not physically throwing up those bricks. However, when you see your team is struggling to score, as a coach, we're gonna have to find ways to get some easy way for them to get buckets. I mean, granted, ain't nothing easy, but you gotta help your people out. We gotta draw the defense in to be able to shoot it out or get some layup or something. I mean, you gotta notice this. But this is your track record. I'm talking about from LA Clippers. With the other squad, with DeAndre and CP3 and them, I saw that. Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm too passionate when I don't see stuff working out and this stuff is happening over and over. And a person, as he's moving jobs, you shortchanging these players from trying to get a ring. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree, but I do think that Paul and Kawhi missed a bunch of shots.
I'm just going for one game. Remember that. They take all the way together game 7.
I agree. It was the whole series, but when you pay them boys a whole bunch of money, they got to hit a shot.
Right.
I put some of that on PG. Or I put more on PG than Kawhi, definitely. Because I know what Smooth said before, PG-13, he is not ready for adult things. He said that. I was like, heck no.
Yes. And rumor has it, now, like I said, it could be a rumor, and just a rumor, but a lot of people in the organization for the Clippers aren't too high on Paul George either.
Hey.
Wait, look, neither one of us has said something. We just like.
don't know. I don't know what.
I ain't gonna say no comment, but I'm be like,
I don't know.
All right. Well, once again, just stay on, Kerry, and for everybody else, tune in next week. We will update you with our special guest coming up, and it's been a very fun show. And I am your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny.
shouts out to Stan, and we have special guest.
Kerry Davis.
There it is. He on it now, Bunny. He on it.
He got it.
He said he ain't doing the whole Nelly Wi-Fi. No. It ain't going down. All right, check out the Platform Sports Talk Show when it's about sports.
It becomes our business.
And business just picked up. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. We out, ride, we out.